Sometimes, the most dangerous thing beside you in the dark isn't what you see, it's what you can't. This is the story of a blind man who spent peaceful nights by his fire until a silent visitor from the woods began sitting beside him. A visitor bigger, heavier, and far stranger than any human. And when two intruders broke into his home, the creature revealed what it truly was. Get ready, this may be one of the most unsettling encounters you'll ever hear.
Something sits with me at night. Hi there, mates. I am writing on here because this is a really weird experience I'm having, and I wanted to share. So to start off, I am blind. It ain't easy living my life, but it is easier than people give it credit for. The most annoying part, in my opinion, is that I need to keep my wits about me in public, so I don't drink often, and when I do, it is very little. I leave my bigger drinking for house parties or just once in a blue moon drinking nights, where for whatever reason, you decide to just get drunk at home. It was on one of these nights that it started. I moved up here to Vermont to get away from the bugs in the south. I always enjoyed sitting out in nature, but since I went blind, my skin has become sensitive to little bug feet. It messes with me, and when I got the money to move, I did so. Found a nice town, not too small, not too big, with sidewalks, and bought a house. My home butts up against a wooded land, maybe a national forest, frankly, I am not sure. It ain't like I can read the signs. Bad blind joke. I got myself a nice big bench made from sturdy wood and put it on the edge of the property and dug myself a burn pit. Nothing like listening to an audiobook while warming yourself by the fire on a cool night. So it was about a month since I moved in that the visitors started coming by. The first time I had just said goodbye to some new friends, making sure they had sober drivers. Once I locked down the front of the home, I mixed myself another drink and stumbled my way to the bench and fire pit. The fire was still going when I got there. We had lit it for the house party. I took a few minutes with my cane, moving it around to find all the used cans and cups. I stacked them all together under the bench before settling down and clicking play on my audiobook. The fire had died down a lot, and I was about to call it a night when I heard footsteps approaching me. Who could that be so late at night, I thought to myself, but was too drunk to care. I am that kind of drunk that is loud and happy and wants everyone around them to have a good night. So when I heard footsteps, my second thought was, new friend! So I called out to them, "Hey mate, want to come sit by the fire?" I heard nothing for a bit, until heavy footsteps strode closer. They got closer and louder, and I began to wonder how big this person was. Then they sat on the other end of the bench. My bench is a little longer than normal, about 7 feet. That way I could lay on it if I wanted to, and still have enough room for my speaker or food. I started up a conversation with them, but they didn't reply much. Sometimes they would grunt, but mostly they just kept quiet and let me talk. So I did. I told them about my blindness and about moving to a strange place, how I was seeking friendships to have people in my life who can help me look out for danger. I talked for a while before I was all talked out, and I held my hand out to them. They grasped it in a very large hand, and we shook before I wished them good night and stumbled to my bed. That started something. My new friend wouldn't show up every night, but when they did, all they would do is sit close to the fire and listen. I started noticing things about them. The first was the smell, and I figured they were just homeless, and they just needed a place to shower. I offered to let them use my shower, but I got a grunt that I considered and thought it meant something like, "No thanks," but I wasn't really sure. So in my head, I had it that they were a homeless person that had experienced some sort of mental trauma that made them nonverbal. Not the best friend a blind man can have, but still, I may have been this person's only friend for all I knew. This odd friendship went pretty good for a few months. Then that night came, the night all blind people fear, the night when someone invades your home. I was out by the fire that night, listening to an audiobook on low volume. My new friend, I'd started calling him Oak because, like the oak, he was big and quiet, was sitting in their normal spot. The sound of breaking glass reached me and I stood, and wondered if I had set a cup half on, half off the counter. It sometimes happened. I took a step towards the house to go find the mess while it was still a fresh memory. A growl from behind stopped me in my tracks. I had never heard a noise like that before. It was deep and resonant. I could feel it bouncing around inside my head. Then my friend stood, and with just a couple of heavy footfalls, they had made it to my house. I heard them open my back sliding glass door and enter my home. I went to take another step when I heard the first scream from inside my home. "Jesus Christ! What the hell is that thing? Get away! Get away!" Then shrieking, and my glass back door was blown outwards by a person sprinting. "Who the fuck are you?" I called out. Now, there's something else you should know about blind people. We forget about lights. It's just not something that we think about because we don't need them. So when I called out, I did it from the darkness. The person let loose with such a loud, sharp scream that hurt my ears and spooked me, so I screamed in shock, which caused the other person to freak out more and bolt into the woods. I stood there for a few minutes before heading back towards my house, totally freaked out and needing to call the cops. I heard glass crunching, and my friend walked past me, dragging something behind him. The smell of my friend plus blood wafted towards me. "Are you okay?" I asked them, and all I got back was a grunt. I went inside to find the smartphone that is actually connected to a network and called the cops. The cops later explained that they believed that 2 men had entered my home, but that something had attacked them. They found a severed human arm laying on my couch. There was a lot of blood too, and I got the cops to take photos for me. My insurance was going to have fun with this one. The cops did find the tracks of the sprinting man and the drag marks from my friend, whom had dragged the other person away. They told me that with all the blood, they thought that the second robber was dead. So now, I am home alone. The cleaning crew finally left after CSI took forever. There's a tarp over my back door and one over my office window. I really liked that my friend helped me out, but at the same time, what kind of person drags a body into the woods? Is my friend even human? What have I been sharing the fire with? I don't know, and that's why I'm posting it here. What happens if they get mad at me? I won't see it coming.
After that night, the blind man still hears those heavy footsteps returning from the woods. He doesn't know if the creature is watching over him or waiting for something. One thing is certain, if it ever turns on him, he'll never see it coming. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell. More chilling tales are on the way.